My name is Emily Adams. I'm a Bethesda girl. Bethesda Home for Girls was in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I'm also representing all my Bethesda sisters. Sorry, it's going to be harder than I thought. I was sent there because my mama caught me smoking a cigarette. She made me eat the pack. I got nicotine poisoning. Ended up, almost ended up in foster care. I embarrassed my mother, and they had me kidnapped and sent to Bethesda. It was under Bob and Betty Wills. It was down a long dirt road. We call it the road to hell. It was way out in the boonies because you can't run. There's nowhere to go. And there was this big sign. It was red, white, and blue. It said Bethesda Home for Girls. So that was kind of it should have said abandon hope, all ye who enter here. I was there. I think I was there about 17 months. It's kind of hard to pin it down. I brought some of my girls' statements, and there's one I wanted to make sure I read part of it. She gave me permission to use her name. So this is from Mardell Lister. And she was there in 1983 when, oh boy, I'm going to cry. When she got there, they made her drink a big glass of Epsom salts, and she was pregnant. Then when she started cramping, they made her put on a Kotex with one of the old style belts. And then they made her start scrubbing the hall. And she miscarried. And she was scared. And she didn't know what to do. So she wrapped her baby in a newspaper. And she threw her in the trash. And then she got back to scrubbing the floor. This is some of what they put us through. They did Lysol enemas, douches. My first day there, Elizabeth Sanford, I'm going to use names because if you don't want me to use your name, then you didn't do anything wrong, right? I was 15. I was a virgin, so this was very embarrassing. She took me into a room. I was on my period. She made me strip naked. Then to prove that I didn't have anything in my vagina, I didn't even know you could stick anything up there. And I didn't do drugs, but she made me do jumping jacks. Blood clots came out of my vagina all over the place. That was when I first learned my body was not going to be mine. And then I learned that I was only going to be wearing dresses and tennis shoes. My first lunch there was chili cheese dogs with globs of mayonnaise on top. That's when I learned if you puke, you eat it. So I did. The first 3 months you're there, you were on watch. That means you have a helper who you are with 24/7. The other girls on watch, you can't look at them, you can't touch them, you can't talk to them because they don't exist. And I have poor facial recognition, so I got in trouble a lot because I couldn't remember. I didn't recognize who was on watch and who wasn't. I constantly got in trouble. Our education system was the PACES. Luckily for me, I do well in school. I only had like a couple of math classes to left. Robert O'Brien was our head of the school, even though he had gone through the PACE system. He didn't know it was butt from a hole in the ground. He was surprised because a lot of the girls were way behind in their education. I actually did my junior and senior year there in 2 months because I was hoping it would get me out of there. Nope. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take chemistry and physics. I ain't got nothing else to do. I got a beating in front of the entire school for vanity. Girls need to get their MRS degree. We don't need chemistry and physics. When I got A's in both of them, I got another whooping. I'm going to graduate my BS in March with a healthcare management, so we had to memorize and quote the Bible in order to eat. If a girl was dyslexic, had never read the Bible, she didn't eat. Other girls were put in charge of making them quote it. Some of us would try to let them slip by. Some of the girls made them quote it. Girls could not eat for a long time. We had forced fasting. We weren't allowed to have thoughts. We couldn't do anything. And like Alan said, they read our letters. You didn't say the right thing, they beat you. You said the wrong thing on the phone, click, they beat you. You went to town on a tour, they begged for money, even though your parents were paying. They would put you in the white top and the pleated skirts and sit you in church and tell everybody, see these dirty girls? Nobody wanted them. Their parents didn't want them. Please give us money so we can feed them. Look at these dirty girls. We're the only ones. Nobody wants them. We heard it over and over that we're worthless. We're trash. That's what I left there thinking. My life was a disaster. My abusers were closed down a year after I left. Bethesda Home for Girls was raided by the FBI finally and shut down. Guess where they came, y'all? They came here. They opened up Mountain Park in Patterson. Will Futrell was murdered at Mountain Park by two of the students because they wanted to get away. They tried to escape. They killed Will with pocket knives because they were so desperate to get away from what Bob, Betty Wills, and Sam and Debbie Gerhardt were doing to them. And then they got life without parole. So they went from the hell of Mountain Park to life without parole. Will lost his life, and then those two guys lost their lives. They couldn't get help. So can you please help the kids now? No more survivors. No more.